The Galactic Council chambers fell silent as Commander Marcus Chen shuffled to the central podium, his worn boots echoing against the crystalline floor. The assembled representatives from 47 species watched with barely concealed contempt as the human delegation's sole survivor approached the speaking platform. "Pathetic," hissed Ambassador Kethtar, his serpentine form coiled in disgust. "The humans send us this broken thing as their final voice?" Marcus heard every word, through the translation matrix, just as he'd heard similar insults for the past 3 cycles. His left arm hung useless at his side, a souvenir from the Battle of Kepler 442. His right leg bore a slight limp from when a Vorthak energy lance had nearly severed it completely. Scars crisscrossed his weathered face like a roadmap of humanity's desperate last stands. The hegemony had been methodical in their conquest. World after world, system after system, they had swept through human space like a plague of locusts. Earth's colonies fell first: New Geneva, Prosperity Station, the mining worlds of the Tau Ceti system. Then the core worlds began to burn: New Angeles, Neo-Tokyo. Finally, inevitably, Earth itself. Marcus represented what remained of 3 billion souls. A handful of refugee ships scattered across the galaxy's rim, hiding in asteroid fields and dead systems, slowly starving as their supplies dwindled. "The human delegation will now present their formal surrender," announced High Arbiter Zexthul, his insectoid mandibles clicking with satisfaction. "Though I confess, Council, I am curious why they bothered with this unceremony." Marcus reached the podium and placed his good hand on the speaking stone. The weight of 3 billion ghosts pressed down on his shoulders. Behind him, through the chamber's vast transparent dome, the hegemony's victory fleet hung in space like a metallic constellation. Over 10,000 vessels representing the combined might of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. "Honored counselors," Marcus began, his voice steady despite everything, "I stand before you not to surrender, but to deliver a message." A ripple of confusion passed through the assembly. Ambassador Kethtar's forked tongue flicked out in agitation. "Human, your species is extinct. Your worlds are ash. Your fleets are space debris. What message could you possibly—" "The message," Marcus interrupted, his scarred lips beginning to curve upward, "is that you made one critical error in your calculations." High Arbiter Zexthul leaned forward, compound eyes glittering. "And what error is that, human?" "You assumed," Marcus said, his grin widening, "that we would fight you conventionally." The smile that spread across his face wasn't one of joy or mirth. It was the expression of a man who had stared into the abyss so long that the abyss had blinked first. It was the smile of someone who had nothing left to lose and everything to gain. "Impossible," snarled Ambassador Kethtar. "Your fleets are destroyed. Your weapons are primitive. Marcus began to laugh. It started as a low chuckle, barely audible through the translation matrix, but it grew, echoing through the chamber with a sound that seemed to carry the weight of dead worlds and the defiance of a species that refused to kneel. The delegates shifted uncomfortably as the laughter continued, building in intensity. "You cataloged our ships," Marcus said between fits of laughter, his eyes now bright with something that might have been madness or might have been genius. "You studied our weapons. You analyzed our tactics. But you never bothered to understand what makes humans truly dangerous." The laughter stopped abruptly, leaving the chamber in oppressive silence. Marcus's grin remained, but his eyes had gone cold as winter stars. "Creativity," he whispered, and the word carried clearly through the translation matrix. "You see, while you were busy conquering our worlds, we were busy with a little project." High Arbiter Zexthul's mandibles clicked nervously. "What project?" "Oh, nothing too complex," Marcus said conversationally. "We just uploaded our entire internet to every piece of human technology in the galaxy, every ship computer, every datapad, every communication device. Then we added a little enhancement." The council chamber's lights flickered. "You wanted to know what makes humans special?" Marcus continued, his voice gaining strength. "It's not our weapons or our ships. It's our ability to think outside the box, to find solutions where none should exist, to weaponize things that shouldn't be weapons. The main display screen above the chamber began showing feeds from across the galaxy. Every hegemony vessel, every occupied world, every conquered system was experiencing the same phenomenon. Their computer systems were being flooded with the accumulated digital detritus of human civilization. Cat videos, memes, social media arguments, conspiracy theories, pop music. The entire chaotic, beautiful, insane tapestry of human digital culture was pouring into every connected system in known space. We call it the humanity virus, Marcus explained as the hegemony fleet began experiencing system failures. Ships drifted out of formation as their navigation computers became convinced they were cats chasing laser pointers. Weapon systems refused to fire, insisting instead on playing ancient Earth music. But the real genius, Marcus continued, his laugh returning as he watched the most powerful armada in galactic history reduced to helpless confusion, isn't the virus itself, it's what comes next. The surviving human refugee ships began emerging from their hiding places throughout the galaxy. Not to fight, they were still outnumbered 1,000,000 to 1. Instead, they broadcast a simple message on all frequencies. We are humanity. We do not forgive. We do not forget. And we have really good tech support. As the hegemony fleet struggled with computers that now believed they were toasters and weapon systems convinced they were musical instruments, Marcus turned to face the stunned council. You wanted our surrender, he said, his grin now savage, with triumph. Instead, I offer you a choice. Learn to coexist with the most persistent, annoying, and creatively destructive species in the galaxy, or spend the rest of eternity trying to explain to your constituents why their morning coffee makers have achieved sentience and are demanding workers' rights. The chamber erupted in chaos as the representatives realized the full scope of what humanity had done. They hadn't just infected military systems, they had infected everything. Every appliance, every vehicle, every connected device across 47 different species territories was now running on human-modified software. Marcus limped toward the exit, his laughter echoing through the chamber. Behind him, the mighty Galactic Council descended into pandemonium as they began receiving reports of household appliances, staging protests and medical equipment insisting on playing therapeutic cat videos. The weak human, he called over his shoulder, sends his regards. Outside the council chambers, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter. Somewhere in the darkness, 3 billion voices whispered their approval, as humanity's greatest victory played out across the galaxy, not through force of arms, but through the simple, undeniable power of making everyone else's day just a little bit weirder. After all, if you can't beat them with conventional warfare, beat them with unconventional software. It was the most human solution imaginable.